Okay, we're good to go. We're live streaming. So Henry?
Great. Uh, Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to this meeting of the Parks Committee. Um, I believe there's just one item on the agenda, which is a presentation from Parks, so we can just turn it right over to them.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to make you guys convene. This is just a short presentation that they're asking me to give you guys. It's a new volunteer initiative that's being rolled out called Let's Green NYC. It's basically just a centralized place, a website that's being created, and well, let me launch into it. Well, you'll see. Hopefully, it'll get some more volunteers in our community going. So I'm gonna share my screen. Dive in. Okay, you guys can see it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Parks Department is rolling out this new initiative, Let's Green NYC. It's designed to help us improve our volunteering efforts to get more people engaged, active, and working in our parks. So why did we choose to do this? Basically, we saw how much engagement our parks got during COVID, and we're trying to tap back into that with some new volunteer initiatives. Um, basically, during COVID, when we couldn't be inside anymore, we realized that we all really loved being outside and that our parks here in the city were a great place to do that. So now, again, we're looking to tap back into that now that the pandemic is, I guess, behind us for some of us. Unfortunately, not for Henry. Uh, but get out there and enjoy those parks once you're feeling better again, Henry. So what are we doing? One of the big things with this is going to be volunteer tracking. This lets us get a better idea of what groups we have coming to our parks, what exactly they're contributing. It lets us expand equity. It lets us see what parks we have that are, have a lot of volunteers and what parks maybe could use volunteer groups in them that don't already have them. It also lets people who might be looking for a volunteer group but don't know where to start sort of dive in and kind of search and customize, what sort of volunteer experience they're looking for. It also allows existing volunteer groups to potentially recruit new members or take on other kinds of projects. There's also sort of and this came up earlier today. This lets us sort of celebrate existing groups and the work that they do. There's little showcases, like they'll be like, volunteer group of the month and things like that that are sort of highlighted on the website. Um, so why do we want people volunteering with parks? Basically, volunteering has always been a big part of the park's mission statement. It gets people active, engaged. We want people to be healthy. It's good for our psychological well-being as well. People make connections with each other. I met my wife while working for the Parks Department, actually. So, there's a romantic, love connection as well. And we just there's hundreds of volunteer opportunities all across the city, and we just want to get more people engaged with their parks. A park that has an active community associated with it has fewer problems. Not only is it more well kept, but there's less trouble too. When something goes wrong, there's more people to report a problem. Parks are safer when people are engaged and in them, and it's just better for everybody. So this is sort of a little mock-up of what the new website is going to look like. For those of you who are already familiar with the parks website, you kind of see the similar aesthetic. You can see all these various keywords that people are going to be able to search for, whether it's cultural engagement, kid-friendly, senior-focused. If you're looking to do a cleanup, you can put in cleanup. If you're looking to do something more conservation-like or maybe something with wildlife, you can type that in, and it can match you with a group. One of the big things that we want to get across is that we want existing groups to really buy into this. We want you basically advertising your group, assuming you want more volunteers, which I think most groups do. We really want you to use this as sort of an advertisement tool to get more recruits in for your volunteer activities. And here's some more on the website that's going to go up. You can see, you can search by location if you're looking for a particular park, if you want something that's close to home. maybe somebody's traveling from outside the city and they want to volunteer as part of their experience in the city, they can click on this. And then you can see over on the right, just sort of a volunteer focus, you know, some of the larger projects we have, the Billion Oyster project that's going on. I think they're working in Sunset, New York Roadrunner, stuff like that. These are all just volunteer groups that we have that are already actively engaged, and maybe people want to join in on that with the activities that they do. So, yeah, basically, we want you guys to visit the site. We want you guys to be volunteering in the parks. Tell your community members. Hold on one second, guys. Eleanor, you can't do this. Sorry. I have a gate crasher.
We get it.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, we're looking to get people involved and go back to full screen there. And we want community involvement. I know the Community Board 10 has events coming up they're trying to plan. So we want you guys involved with this. Hopefully we can use the website. If you don't get 200 school volunteers again, and you're looking for maybe a different focus on your participation, we can use the website to get you guys more volunteers. And there's the link if you guys want more information. I'll also be giving out, I'll send Josephine we have a flyer for this that I'm going to send to the community board, so you guys will have it if you want to hand it out, maybe at the general meeting or at other events that you guys do, just to get more people engaged. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, feel free. I see Richard has his hand up.
Okay, so you know what, though? Yeah, maybe we could stop the screen share for a minute, Chris, so we can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can figure it out. There we go. Yeah, I'm not a Zoom expert there. Sorry.
Richard?
All right. This is great. I'm always happy to have more people do work in parks. Are all of these going to be parks-led events, or is there opportunities for like super stewards to host events and have those on the website as well, or just wondering?
So it's my understanding that this allows you guys, as long as it's basically just for activities in the park. If you don't necessarily have to schedule your events through us. I believe this is just sort of a recruitment and advertising tool for volunteer groups. So if you want to attract more members by putting your group on the site, this allows you to do that.
Okay, great.
I think Terry, do you have a question?
Yeah, do you have a digital flyer?
Yes, I'll be sending that to the community board so you guys can see it.
Great, thanks.
I think it has a QR code and just a link to the website on it.
That would be great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris, how do you reach out to groups? So do you already have a list of groups that you're going to invite to?
So a lot of this is being coordinated with Partnership for Parks. They have a list. We're hoping that, community boards will also sort of pass the word out to groups that they know are in the area so that they can get onto the website as well. I'd like to see more youth and senior engagement in the neighborhood. Those are two groups I think we could really tap into with this community quite a bit. And yeah, I just think it's just another tool we have to help us get more people out in the parks, contributing to the community.
Yeah, I was very surprised pleasantly when we reached out to all of the high schools in the area, to their key clubs and organizations looking for volunteers. And many of these schools really encourage volunteering, community service hours. So, and we get inquiries all the time students looking for community service. So I think this is a great way to partner those students with activities, not only locally in the community, but throughout the city. And not only connecting them to groups, but even if there was a calendar of events, I know Partnership for Parks has a calendar with the ability to sign on if they say have a free Saturday or so. That might be another way that could be event driven for specific events like ours, the one that we're planning to have in the spring.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I believe that's also going to be a feature of the website. Like, so you can, there's going to be all sorts of filters, whether you want to filter by like activity type, you know, the type of group doing it, you know, senior focus, youth focus, whatever, and obviously park location if you're looking for a specific park. But and then you can also see if there's a group that has an activity on a certain day. Oh, you know, if you want to go outside your neighborhood or wherever, but you're looking for this day, you can also search by what's going on, like what's scheduled.
Right. Terry, did you have another question or was your hand still up from
Oh,
before?
sorry.
No, that's okay. Just making sure.
Oh yeah, I guess I have a question. Is the website live now? You said that it was like a mock-up so far, or is that?
I've only seen the mock-up. It could potentially be live now, but it could also be experiencing technical difficulty. I don't want to promise you anything right now. It's my understanding that this is sort of slowly being rolled out. So sort of a stay tuned sort of thing. But I will give you guys the flyer. You know, in case it's going through its growing pains right now, but it is sporadically working.
All right, cool.
I was able to access the website, and I see there's an interesting part of it which has newsletters where you can sign up for specific neighborhoods. I just figured I would call that out. That would be something interesting, but potentially where we can plug into our newsletter to say, hey, this is something that can happen.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for that type of interactivity. Like they want groups to highlight what they're doing, what they have scheduled. You know, they want you guys sort of, you know, waving your group's flag proudly and saying, look at what we did, you know, and encouraging other groups to follow suit.
Cool.
Cambridge is a little challenging because we don't have one park.
No, but I mean, you know, just from my standpoint, I see, you know, we have groups that, you know, sort of have their park, you know, like we have parent-child relationship that has their parks, you know, and then we have Narrows Botanical, and, you know, we have different groups that sort of like are taking ownership of different sites. So, you know, and that works to our advantage too, you know, if there are people who are really passionate about that park and want a group to join, then this can help them maybe get into that group that they wouldn't normally have an inroad with. Or if there's a group that says, hey, like, you know, where is there a need? You know, where is there a park that's maybe underserved and that I want to, you know, help out? It lets them find that park and make it their own that maybe, you know, nobody else staked claim to.
Hopefully.
I think it's exciting. It's
Yeah.
an exciting initiative, and
I like it.
we will certainly be promoting it, Chris, for sure.
Anything that gets more volunteers in the parks.
More people in the park.
And just for the Parks Committee, I'm going to be meeting next week with the Bay Ridge Environment, our very own board member, Daniel Loud, and we're going to be planning spring park cleanup event. And we're hoping that it will be rained out as the next one was, but we will have a rain date this time, kind of late in the season last time, but we're looking forward to that.
Great.
That'll be great.
Oh, and just some other news that I'm sure will excite everybody. JJ Party should be nearing completion very soon.
Right.
So hopefully they'll be turning that over to us in the very, very near future. Assuming all the problems are worked out there and it's ready to open. Yeah.
Chris, unrelated, may I ask a question?
Of course.
When is Owl's Head going to be closed down?
I haven't gotten a firm date yet. I don't want to start alarming anybody, but I believe it's scheduled to begin in the first half of this year.
Okay. Thank you.
When I know, I will pass that information along because I know that is one of our most heavily used sites in the neighborhood, and the closure there is going to be rather significant. Because please remember, it's not just the playground, but half the paths are also going to be closing there as well. So
Yes. Okay, thanks. I know that there are organizations that want to plan events in there as well, and so that's why, you know, they were assuming that it was going to be open. I want to give them the information when it's available.
yeah, I believe that concern was raised at one of our previous meetings. I think with the way that the closures are going to be structured, that every group is still going to have it. You know, they might not be in their normal spot, but they will still have parts of the park that they can utilize for whatever events they're planning to have.
Perfect. Thank you.
The Pride event is really big.
Mhm.
And we the Viking Festival is coming up too.
Right.
Yep.
Those are probably the two biggest.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, the Halloween's pretty big too, but
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it, but it will be certainly impactful. So thank you, Chris. We really appreciate the update, and we'll look for that.
thank you guys for giving me a chance to speak. And thank you guys for all you do for the community and our local parks.
Thank you.
I'll turn it over to you, Henry.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any more questions or business?
Yeah, I just have one more question. Last year, like late last year, there was a lot of conversation about pickleball and courts and stuff like that. Is there anything going on that we should be aware of that's changing within our parks, or any plans to change in terms of like courts and stuff?
The only pickleball news I have is old news. So when they redo the pavement at Diker Beach Bay 8th, some of the tennis courts there will be converted to pickleball courts. I don't have a firm number yet. You'll probably get at least four to 6 courts, I would think.
Interesting.
Okay, great. Should we have a motion to adjourn then? Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Yes, we do, Terry.
I'll
Yeah,
second.
All right.
Second.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you,
All right.
Henry. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Diane, feel better. And
Thank
nice
you.
to
Yeah,
see
everybody, please feel better. These respiratory illnesses are killing us. Let's be safe.
you. Yes, certainly.
Mhm.
Take care.
All right.
Good
Take
night.
care, everyone.